So today you find us in Guatiza, and this is the main road through Guatiza, which carries on towards Mala, which we'll be looking at a little bit later. This used to be the main road to the north of the island, so if you wanted to travel to Orsella, Arieta, Punta Mujeres or Aria, you used to come along this road. We did when we first moved up to the north. We use this road every day going to and from our office. I sort of think of the villages around here as a triumvirate, if you like. So we've got Guatiza, which we're in now, then Mala, and then on the coast we've got Charco del Palo. So the plan today is to visit all three. It's a pretty grey day, as you can see, although in the distance there's a hole in the sky where it looks quite blue. We'll talk some more about Cactus when we get further down the road. So what have you got in Guatiza? Well, it's a kind of classic Spanish village. It has these lovely trees for shade either side of the main road. There's a bank here, a couple of shops, a few bars, mainly residential. Lots of cactuses, some lovely Canarian palms on that house. I've always liked that house with the Canarian balcony. And they have a small vineyard in front of it, which you're looking at now. In the background, those hills, there used to be a quarry there at one time. But since this main road was bypassed, I guess about 10 years ago, they've gone back to their original kind of sleepy existence. There's a cyclist going through. You tend to see those on this road quite a lot. But the rest of us use the main fast bypass. You can fly along there at 100 kilometers an hour and you don't see the villages anymore. Probably quite nice for the residents that they've gone back to a more peaceful existence. So we're going to head down the road to the Cactus Gardens next. We've come a couple of streets back and this is the church and the Plaza of Guatiza. And if we look down the pedestrianised area there, you can see the post office sign. Just this side of the post office is the Sociedad. You probably heard me talking about Sociedads over the years. Great value for money places to eat and drink. And the one here is fabulous. It's really, really good. We've spent many a happy night in there. Very noisy. There's always lots of old fellas in there playing dominoes. The food is simple, great value for money and very good portions. And this garden has been done since I was last here. Caught my eye on the way in. I thought it looked very attractive. So that's Guatiza. So many of you will recognise this as the Jardín de Cactus, the Cactus Gardens. Manrique's last work before he died, and it's an old quarry that he turned into the most beautiful cactus garden here. And the reason he did it was because, as you can see all around us on this main road in Guatiza, there are fields of prickly pear cactuses, and you see them on both sides of the road all the way down. And this is because the cochineal beetle industry was a very important earner of income for the islands well before tourism. You can see the prickly pear cactuses here, and they've just fruited. So if I show you this one, you can see fruit on the floor around it. It's edible, it's quite pleasant, and there's one with pears on it. And if we go in close, you can see the white stuff on the leaf of the plant there. That's the cochineal beetle, and they're crushed up and they create a dye which it was used for food colourings, clothes dyes and all kinds of things. Worth its weight in gold, literally. And these are old plants. You can see the sort of woody part where they die out, which suggests they're several hundred years old. and as the leaves go away you end up with a sort of skeleton inside, which you can see there. Local artists turn those into sculptures and that type of thing. In amongst them here we've got some grapevines as well. So as well as the precious cochineal dye, they're also growing grapes for wine. Cactus Gardens, sort of place a lot of people avoid. They kind of think it's going to be boring. It isn't. It's fascinating. I'd highly recommend you pay it a visit if you haven't already been. Really interesting place. So the wind's coming up a bit now, as you can probably hear. I'll swing round so the microphone's out of the wind and tell you that we're now going to head into Mala. That's Guatiza done. We've driven down the road now from Guatiza, just over a kilometre, and cactus fields on both sides of us, and we're now in the village of Mala. We've actually crossed a municipal boundary as well, so Guatiza is in Tagize and Mala is in Aria. And like Guatiza, Mala has this one main road that runs through it. Has a magnificent health centre, which you're looking at now. Restaurante Don Quixote. There's a small sociedad here, a couple of nice little tapas bars, and a great pharmacy. There's also the Centro de la Cochinilla, which you can see there on the left, which is kind of a museum to the history of the cochineal beetles. And then I'm going to wait for this car to move out of the way so I can step out into the street. If you look down there, we're looking at the village of Arieta, which is about another, I don't know, 1.5 perhaps 2k on from us. So this is Mala. We're now going to head down to somewhere which is a little bit different, and it's Charco del Palo, which we can reach by just heading straight for the coast in that direction. So we're in Charco del Palo now. That's the shopping centre here with Lily's Bar in it. Very well known local bar. And Charco del Palo is a naturist village, started by a German chap who owned the land around here. So I have to be careful filming down here. I don't want to suddenly film naked people without their consent. It's a small village. There's quite a large central accommodation apartment hotel place called Arbona, which is just over the other side of these buildings here. They attract naturists from all over the world, but predominantly from Germany. Lots of Brits here. Most of the people who live here are naturists. You don't have to take your clothes off. I hasten to add, I am wearing clothes at the moment. You don't have to take your clothes off to come down here. I've been coming for years. I go diving. It's a cracking dive site, and I'll show it to you in a minute. But it's a lovely, peaceful, quiet place, about 2k down a twisty road from Mala. So the ocean's pretty rough today. You can probably see the spray there. Out in the distance, a Coast Guard boat. Got a couple of swimmers who've braved the ocean where the monkey rocks are, which is this area. This is where the best diving is. You go down those, we jump in the water and come back up those steps that you can see. Big container ship in the distance there. This is a nice sandy area. Sorry about the wind noise. And at the other end of the village there's a path which will take you all the way to Arieta and Punta Mujeres through a lovely area of sand dunes. I'm not going to go too long into this wind, but there's another kind of small beachy area there that you can see dead ahead, and I'll just show you some of these waves as a finish. Classic Lanzarote lava flow. And that's why the diving's so good here, because the lava flow continues underwater, and there are some really interesting caves, and then we can look back along the coast there to the end of Charco del Palo, and then all the way around that corner in the far distance is Costa de Guise. So that's it from a somewhat grey and murky Lanzarote this week. I hope you've enjoyed that. 3 villages you perhaps won't have spent time in or seen in the past. We'll catch up with you soon. Bye for now.